Good Sunday afternoon to all our followers online and on social media. This is Daniel Crawley, forecaster with Burke Weather, and we'll kind of go over what's going on with the weather on this Sunday afternoon. First off, it's a very cloudy, overcast day across the foothills of North Carolina. If you look at the map I have here, temperatures are in the mid 40s, 44 at both Hickory Regional Airport and at the Morganton Lenore Airport with overcast skies. That's kind of been a theme all weekend. We've had a lot of clouds across the region, and the temperatures have been held down into the 40s. As you guys remember, we were predicting a couple days ago that a storm system would come through here yesterday, and that kind of didn't materialize. That kind of changed up on us a little bit. But the end result is we still had a lot of cloudiness across the region. And as I zoom out on this picture on GR Earth, the clouds are expansive, and all the way from the Carolinas southward into Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and down in the Gulf Coast region. And the reason why you have that is you have a general southwest flow aloft that is bringing in some higher level moisture. Not as much moisture closer to the surface to produce rainfall, but more aloft, and what it does, it just really kind of wreaks havoc on temperature sometimes, and has been really tough on forecasters like us. Normally if you look at the flow, you think, well, it might be fairly mild, but with these high clouds, and it's kept temperatures down pretty low. So, it's kind of more bark than bite. It's not been a huge issue for us. It looks threatening outside, which it has all weekend, but really not much going on. The one reason why we put this video out today, if you've been watching social media, we've been talking a lot about this pattern change that we think is going to happen, as we head post-Christmas into the new year. And I can tell you right now, the last couple days looking at our computer guidance, it has sent a lot of mixed signals. And that is, to us, sometimes a sign that things are really going to change. And what we like to see happen is for things to kind of start settling down with our guidance and starting to become a little bit more consistent. And I think today we're starting to see that a little bit more, especially with the the GFS model that we use quite a bit in our forecasting. And I'm going to pull up a map here of the GFS. And this map right here, I'm going to show you right quick, is the 500 millibar flow across the entire northern hemisphere. And so that's that's pretty high up in the atmosphere. And we use that a lot of times to kind of use as guidance to see where things are going and where they're coming from and the origin of our air masses and stuff like that. As you see, and this is the current look on the map, there's a pretty strong westerly flow coming off the Pacific. And if you've watched the news lately, they've had a lot of rain out on the west coast of California, Oregon, and Washington. And it's been because of that. And that's also kind of had a little bit to do with our fairly mild weather here in the month of December across the southeast U.S. A pretty fast westerly flow coming off the Pacific, and it's given that kind of air mass and pushing it all the way across the country. Folks, that's going to change fairly soon, and we're starting to get a little bit better feel on maybe when this is going to happen. I'm going to advance this map out just a couple days, and this is on Christmas Eve, Wednesday. As you can see, that flow in the west, in the Pacific, is starting to buckle just a little bit as an area of higher pressure aloft is going to form along the west coast. What that has resulted is a pretty nice trough that's going into the central, and it'll slide into the eastern U.S. as we head into Christmas. If you follow our page, we've been talking a little bit about the chance of rain. There's a storm system that's coming on Christmas Eve. That's right there on that map that we're showing you right now. That's a pretty strong trough that's going to come slide through, and it'll end up setting up base a little bit on the east coast. Also, if you notice, there's a little bit of a ridging signature over the the eastern part of Canada. That's going to eventually start sliding a little bit north and setting up a little bit off the eastern coast of Greenland. And when we start seeing that, that kind of gets our attention sometimes as well. That's we talk a lot about the Arctic Oscillation, the Atlantic Oscillation, and the North Atlantic Oscillation. That's a little bit of a sign that the Atlantic and the North Atlantic Oscillation might go negative, at least for a short spell. And usually when that happens, you can get colder weather into the central and eastern U.S. So we're keeping an eye on that as well. I'm going to advance this out a little bit farther. This is 7 days, so this is next Sunday, the 28th. We're out 1 week from now, and of course these things can change, but we're really starting to see that trend. Again, like I said, just a little bit of a ridging signature off of Greenland, but this ridge that we had, if you remember, in the 1st of November, we had a huge ridge up in Alaska and off the west coast of Canada. That is really starting to become prominent in the models again, and we're starting to really gain some confidence that that's going to happen. Now, what's going to happen as a result of that is you're going to have a general trough that's going to try to form across the central and eastern part of the U.S. The thing to remember is when you get this ridge off of Alaska, you're starting to tap into air from the Arctic. And if you remember back in November, we had a pretty cold November for this part of the country, and we had some cross-polar flow. And I'm telling you right now, we're starting to see that a little bit in the models late this week, or late this upcoming week, and next week in particular. So that really has our attention right now, looking at the GFS. And of course, this is the ensemble run from this afternoon. And if I progress it even more, days 8, 9, and 10, that ridge is really holding tight off the west, or on the west coast of Canada. So we're really interested in what's happening here, and we think that this pattern change that a lot of people have talked about is going to happen, and we'll really have to, we'll have to watch things, I think, after Christmas. I'm gonna go back on this map, just one more thing, and this kind of has my interest as well. Not only do you have the ridging here, but you've got this little bit of lower heights that are going to be sliding under that ridge. That is interesting in the fact that that could be a sign that the southern stream may also try to get active while we're getting colder air. And if you've been in this part of the country for any amount of time, when you can get a southern stream interaction with a little bit of cold air from the northern stream, things can get interesting. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, and there's definitely nothing out there right now that we're looking at in particular, but the signs are there that winter's really going to kick in after Christmas. So I hope you guys really like that. One more map I want to show you, and this has really been a theme for us the entire year. I guess I don't have that map, but we'll get back to that later. The one thing is we've had a lot of really strong Arctic high pressures that have formed and have funneled in the cold air, and we're seeing that as well, not only with what we got going on aloft, but we're seeing it a lot at the surface. So there's a lot of things out there that we're watching, and it's really interesting, and we really think that this pattern is going to change. So I just want to take some time on a Sunday afternoon and kind of throw some thoughts out there what we're looking at as far as the team here at Burke Weather. Of course, Chief Meteorologist Chris White and Scotty Powell and the rest of the crew, they'll be updating the sites throughout the day. Always please make sure to check out our main site, burkeweather.org. We'll have all the forecast information for all of our 4 counties in there. Also, Facebook on Burke Weather, McDowell Weather, Caldwell, and Catawba County Weather. And I'm just going over some stats right quick. All 4 counties combined, we have 39,258 followers right now. And let me tell you right now, we really, really appreciate all that support. And a special shout out to my folks here in McDowell County, which is my home base. We have 3,259, which has really been a steep increase this year. And we always thank you for your support and what we do. Keep following us. If you know anybody that ain't following us, get them on board right now, because we think things are going to get interesting as we head into 2015. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We hope everyone enjoys their Sunday. I know schools are out for a Christmas holiday now, so you kids enjoy a little break time. And to everyone here at Burke Weather, we'd like to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas.